evening, viewers. Welcome back to another edition of the Poetry Cabinet that comes your way at Fine TV Gambia, your only viewpoint. And I am your host for this program, Our Camera. With me, it's my co-host, Fadja.
Good evening, wonderful viewers. Thank you for joining us on another edition of the Poetry Cabinet here on Fine TV Gambia, your only viewpoint.
Well, viewers, today it's another episode of the Poetry Cabinet. And with us today is a young talented writer in the Gambia, and we will let him introduce himself.
Thank you very much, Awa and Fatimata, for having me. Good evening, viewers. My name is Keba S. Juara, the General Secretary of the Writers Association of the Gambia and President of the Young Writers Association of the Gambia.
Thank you, Mr. Juara. It's a pleasure having you here. The first question I would like to ask you is about your inspiration to become a writer. What inspired you to become a writer?
Okay, thank you very much. That's a very important question. Seeing me today writing, I think it is important to know why I became a writer. I think it is a natural thing to me. I've always loved writing. I've always loved storytelling. But it came into me when I realized that I have read so many novels, and I believe I would also be able to produce something like that. I remember in high school, I used to go to the school library in St. Peter's and go and read. I was not having a specific taste. I just go and get what I see that day and read. I pick books from the library and read them. And after high school, when I was at the college, also I continued reading. And one time I said to myself, yeah, I can also produce something like this. And that was how I began writing. I was first known as a poet, but my first write up was not a poem, it was a story. Yes.
All right, thank you for letting us know. And can you tell us your biggest inspiration when it comes to writing?
Um, it will be hard to answer that question. I don't think I have a specific um, biggest inspiration. So many people and so many factors inspire me. First of all, looking at our society, I think there are so many things to write about. The society never stops giving you reason to write. So that is my first inspiration. I want to write about the society. I want to mirror the society in my write-ups. So this is one of my inspirations. And also, I want to be remembered when I'm gone. And writing will immortalize me. Yes, and I may not be remembered as the richest person or the most powerful ruler, but I would be remembered as a writer and perhaps a powerful writer.
Thank you very much, Mr. Juara, for that. And Mr. Juara, we know that the Writers Association of the Gambia is planning a very big book festival called the Kunta Kinte Book Festival. First of all, how does the name Kunta Kinte comes about? You left all names and choose Kunta Kinte as the main name for this book festival.
Yes, this name, thank you very much for that question. This name was chosen because of Kunta Kinte's standing in our culture and history. Um, Looking at the book by Alex Haley, Roots, we come to know that Kunta Kinte was originally from the Gambia, and his personality denotes that of defiance against racism, against slavery, against subjugation. So he is someone who represents the undying spirit of Gambians, a spirit of self identity, celebrating oneself and believing in oneself. So he was a, a mountain that we can always lean on to say, yes, we are from Gambia, the country where Kunta Kinte comes from, and knowing that the whole world also knows Kunta Kinte. So the moment we say Kunta Kinte, it will draw attention to the Gambia. And we as writers want to be part of that sort of culture where people will see Kunta Kinte not only as someone who belongs to historians, but also us in literature. So this is why we chose the name. Um, I am getting this from what has been given to me because I am young, as you know, and I was not there when the elders were writing down the constitution of the Writers Association of the Gambia and determining what is supposed to be celebrated and what is supposed to be commemorated. But this is an information I received from the elders that they choose Kunta Kinte because it is a name we can proudly identify ourselves with.
Wow, that's amazing. And every Gambian can proudly say, I am from the Gambia, where Kunta Kinte came from. and history will always remember him. So, going back to the Writers Association as the Secretary General, I would like to ask you what's the core mission of the Writers Association in the Gambia?
Yes, our main mission is to bring about a community, a society, a Gambia that is well rooted in literature and culture. We want to inspire people to love reading and writing. This is why we have the Writers Association of the Gambia.
Alright, thank you very much, Mr. Juara, for that answering that question. Talking about the Kunta Kinte Book Festival, what is the main objective of this festival?
Yes, it has two main objectives, although you have so many others. But the two main objectives are number one, to promote reading and writing in the Gambia. We want to promote a culture of literature in the Gambia, where those who can write will write, and those who are not writers can read. We want people to enjoy reading, but a type of reading that you can identify with. That is why we are trying to promote Gambian books. So Gambians would read Gambian books and easily relate to what they have read. The second main purpose of the Kunta Kinte International Book Festival is to revive the love of culture in Gambians. This is why when we have the event, we invite so many cultural groups in different ways, whether it is having to do with the cultural fashion, or it has to do with cultural music or cultural displays of anyhow, we inculcate them in it. So we present the Gambian culture, understanding that writing cannot be separated from culture. And our culture is beautiful, it is worth showing in the world. So this is why when we bring our people together, we bring our culture also with it, so the world can see what Gambia has, what is peculiar to the Gambia, and how beautiful it is.
Sure, it's gonna be interesting indeed. Can you tell the viewers out there what are some of the key activities lined up for the event? What are some of the things they will be expecting?
Yes, like we said, it is a festival, and it is a 3 day festival. So it is going to have a lot of activities in it. The first day we are going to launch it. Um, we will have conference where keynote addresses will be presented. We will have speakers. We have not fully identified them yet, but we've already started our process. People who will come and address the attendees, and we will have roundtable discussions on issues of reading and writing and on issues of culture. So we will have historians around, we will have anthropologists around, we will have educationists around, and cultural groups and representatives to come and talk to the people about the state of Gambia's culture and reading. So it is going to be interesting like that on the first day. The second day, we are going to have other activities as well. I don't know whether you have a question for me on what is going to happen on each day, but yeah, let me just go over it again. And then the second day, we are going to have activities like storytelling. Now we know Africans had their own culture and tradition, and we had our own literature. Now, even though it was not written, it is still literature. So one of them that stood out throughout history is storytelling, and we are going to have people coming to narrate stories in the traditional way. You remember the Talings, the Lebon, Lupin, yes. And then we are going to have the young people present poems, because poetry is also part of literature, spoken word poetry specifically. So we are going to have spoken word presentations. We are going to have cultural activities like cultural music. We are going to have kora display. We are going to have the djembe and other cultural activities, as well as showing our fashion. We will come in our African cultures, in the darafanos, understand, in the jesners and the tubos and things like that. So we saw the world that we are not just wearing suits, but we have our cultural dresses as well. Yeah, the final day, we are going to have a grand awards night. Now, this day, we are going to celebrate every Gambian writer who is active and has been nominated. We will open nominations when the time comes closer, and then all active Gambian writers would be identified, and we will certify them. However, we are going to have 8 categories of writing. We do not call them genres, we call them categories, because some of them are connected some way, but they are separated also in other ways. We are going to have winners on each side, a male and a female. For example, we are going to have the prize for fiction. So you are going to have two people who write fiction who are going to be awarded, provided that they really stand out in this category. And you are also going to have drama, that is play, and then people are going to be awarded. And this time, these 8 categories, those people will be given glass trophies, things they will take home physically to display in their houses for eternity. So the Kunta Kinte International Book Festival promises a very, very brilliant performance for the whole Gambia to witness.
Wow, that's so amazing. Just from what you've said, like I am seeing it as a very big program, and it is very going to be very interesting, as you say. Most of the times, we think that Gambia don't have culture. Oh, our cultures are fading away. So we believe by this, we are going to see a lot of our culture. So the other question I would like to ask is, how does the association support young writers in improving their craft?
Yes, okay, thank you for that question. It even reminds me of one of the programs on the second day. We are going to have a writer's workshop. We will have an established and experienced writer who will come on this day and provide mentorship to younger writers. We are going to have categories. So, for example, one of them is going to be poetry. We are going to bring a Gambian poet who is very experienced and have an interaction with young people who want to be poets or who are trying to be poets, so he can train them or she can train them on what to do to write their own poetry in a way that is good. And then we are going to have other categories like drama, how to write your own drama with all the elements properly inscribed in your work, and then as well as fiction writing and other technical sorts of writing. So the Writers Association is here for things like that. We are organizing capacity building programs for our writers and also providing opportunities for them to publish and also be known to the public.
Okay, talking about all the interesting things we'll be expecting, can you please tell us when and where will this event held?
Yes, thank you very much. I think that is one thing we should have started with. Yes, the event will be in December, and it will be on the 17th, 18th, and 15th, 16th, and 17th of December this year. Yes, the place has not been fully specified. We have our places that we suggested, and we are working on booking the place ahead of time. We may have the Alliance Francaise, but we may have other places as well. So, but we are working on that, and soon I hope the next time we come for interview, the date would already be selected. The place will also already be verified.
Thank you very much, Mr. Joara, for that. What's gonna be this year's theme of this edition of the festival?
Yes, this year's theme is write the past to shape our tomorrow. Yes, we want to have a generational connection. We are going to have a movement, a force that will make young people identify themselves with their own past. So we are creating a future, a brighter future for our past. So we will write about our culture, we will write about our tradition, we will try to remember our legends, those people who pioneered Gambian literature, people who embodied and were in the chronicles of Gambian literature. We try to remember them and celebrate them. We write about them, we talk about them. So when we bring them like that, and then these people can be emulated by our younger writers. So our young people would see people who have succeeded in literature in the past and try to copy them so that they can also become successful. So we say, write the past to shape our tomorrow.
Okay, write the past to shape our tomorrow is a way of connecting the past with the future. That's something amazing. All right, my question going back to the Writers Association, what are some of the challenges that you guys do face as an association, and what ways do you try to overcome those challenges?
Challenges are numerous. Um, Given that Gambians naturally are not drawn towards books, then we can say now things are changing. I believe because with the very many publications we are having now, I suppose Gambians are now reading. But generally, the Gambian population do not read. So we face this problem of readership. When our members write their books, they are not writing them to carry dust on shelves of libraries and at homes. we expect people to open them and read, but we are not having the force of reading, the amount of reading that we require. This is one challenge we are having. I think another challenge is also the publication issue. Most people in the Gambia publish on their own. We call it self-publishing. We do not have publishing houses here that would do traditional publishing for our people. So it is expensive to put the whole bill, and at the end of the day, you do not have the sales that you need. Um, Most of our people have their own engagement. They have their jobs, but if you know writing, you know it takes time. So the time that has been invested in writing should definitely be paid back by people buying the books and reading them. So that has been a challenge. And then building the human capacity. Gambian standard has always been low. I'm not so viewers will be happy with this, but it is the truth. When you compare the works that are produced by Gambians to other people outside, you can see a significant difference. So that's another challenge we are having. But right now, standards are rising, and we can see Gambians are getting published abroad. That is a very good sign. Another challenge we have is finances. No association can go without money. Yes, and the association had suffered so long, but in the recent months, we've been trying to revitalize it. We are in fact working on having a secretariat for the association, where in few years it will be able to sustain itself financially and as well as structurally with its permanent staff who are going to work for the association's well-being and growth. So these are some of the challenges we are facing. And at the moment, I think working on a secretariat and revitalizing the association is our way forward for bringing out the gems that are in it and trying to put our association on its foot, making sure that it survives and continues to survive.
Thank you very much, Mr. Juar. I'm talking about the festival. How do you think the festival has been contributing? Because I believe this is not the first time. How is it contributing to the reading and writing culture of the Gambia?
Yes, thank you very much for that question. Yes, the first time we did a festival of this nature was in 2022. Noting that is not the first time a book festival was done in the Gambia. Yes, it has been happening for a long period of time, and people like Prof. Barry can tell you more about that. Yes, but doing it as an event as big as this, the first time we did it was in 2022 at Alliance Franco. It was in October 14th and 15th of October 2022. Um, in this event, we celebrated our legends and also motivated our younger writers. So this has motivated a lot of people to become writers because we gave certificates to all our writers who were active at that point. And then we in fact have an award for emerging writers. And this is specifically for a young writer in the male category and the female category. So I believe by recognizing them and by awarding them certificates and medals is a way of encouraging them so they can keep on doing what they are doing. I think this is one way the Writers Association of the Gambia is contributing to the growth of literature amongst the young people.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Juara, for that. And we will go back to you. Like, how do you manage your personal career, personal writing career, and being a leader in the Writers Association? As you said, you are the Secretary General of the Writers Association. So, how do you make sure that things are balanced?
Uh, well, it's not been easy. It's like being the coach of Manchester United. Uh, yes, it's a very challenging thing. The association right now needs the human capital, because as I said, we are trying to revitalize it and also have a secretariat. So currently we are meeting strategic partners because we identified certain institutions that we want to have strategic partnership with those we can work with to make sure the association comes on its feet. And we are also trying to work with ministries. So every time we have meetings, we pay courtesy visits, and we have our own meetings, internal meetings as well. And all this require time. So it is definitely challenging. And I think the way I best manage it is I personally don't stop writing. Every time you see me, I'm working on something. Yes, and I'm so much of a night person. Not to be translated in Mandinka. When you translate it in Mandinka, it will give a very bad meaning. Yes. Okay. What I mean by that is I can't sleep early. Yes. So I utilize that time at night to write. Yes. So I am able to contribute to the growth of Writers Association of the Gambia, and at the same time, I am able to continue my writing. I always have something to write, and I'm always working on something. I have manuscripts that are finished, not yet published. So that tells you I don't stop writing. And that's how I manage them. And the final note on that is, though it is a bit challenging, but it is not every day, sometimes not every week. So we have time for ourselves and our families and our other activities.
Mr. Juara, talking about the book festival, how do you think this festival promotes and uplifts young writers out there?
Yes, a part of that has already been touched. We are going to have capacity building programs for the young people. We are going to have workshops for them. These workshops are going to expose them to experienced writers who are going to show them how to write in their various genres. Also, we are having a collaboration with a publisher, not one, two publishers. So these people are going to come and we will expose the young people to them. Let those people tell them what criteria they consider when they want to publish a person's book. So when our people are writing, they will tailor it down to that. Because the truth is, when you self-publish, yes, when you make sales, the money comes, but that is very temporal. When you have a traditional publishing published by a reputable publishing company, your work goes far and it stays here forever. Even when you are gone, your work would still be present. But if you are the one who publish it yourself, you print 100 copies and all those are sold, they are finished. That's the end of it. And then one day your book may go lost. So our people need opportunities like this. And the Writers Association of the Gambia is working towards ensuring that the young writers have opportunities to publishers. But before getting to the publishers, they have the opportunity to learn from erudite writers who will make them know how to write properly so their manuscripts can be accepted for publication with great publishers.
All right, talking about workshops for writers, we realized that you organized a workshop some while ago at the National Youth Parliament. So, can you tell us the reason behind it and the impact it will have on young writers?
Okay, thank you. That one was under the Young Writers Association of the Gambia, but then Young Writers and Writers Association cannot be separated. They are like the father, and we are the children. Yes. So we believe writers, to a great extent, tend to make themselves the watchdogs of the society. We want to look at what's going on in the society and write it down. And a lot of times we write about the ills that are going on in the society. You have the corruptions and nepotisms that are going on, and so many other bad things. Now, writers are writing against these things. They are advocating for better leadership and things like that. Now, writers, if they are advocating for these things, then they should be the first people to embody these characteristics. If you are telling people to stay away from corruption, for example, then you should not be corrupt. If you are asking your leaders to be upright, then you yourself you should be upright. So therefore, we said there is need for us to organize a training for young people so that they can have practical training, practical skills on leadership. It's not only authorship now. We are moving ahead and adding leadership there. So you have authorship and leadership. You become an author. What you write against in your book, you should never do that. So we have this collaboration with the International Association of African Authors and Scholars, who flew from abroad, from the United States and Nigeria, to come and provide this world-class training on leadership for our people. However, we did not limit it to writers. We made it open for everyone. People came from almost all parts of the country, as far as Sierra people came to come and attend the training, where we were exposed to experts who gave us hands-on activities that help us understand what leadership is and how to become good leaders. Because we believe the problem with the Gambia and Africa as a whole is not the absence of resources. It is not also the absence of potential. To a great extent, it is problem with leadership. So we said we should catch them young. You train the young people to become good leaders. So when they mount these positions, they do it well. And hopefully, what we read about in our books will be what we will see tomorrow.
Wow, that's amazing. As anything that you want people to venture into is being written down. So once it is being read, I believe they will do it. And as you said, you can't be advocating against corruption when you are corrupt. So all these are things that we should consider as people. So can you tell us some of the challenges that young writers do face? Because it is unlimited.
Yeah. Uh, I think still we have problem with refining our skills to write standard works. So many young people who don't want to say the word, but I have to still wannabes. You know, you want to be the person up there, but you still don't have the skills. So now you want to feign the whole situation. Um, so many people are writing, but they are not writing the way they are supposed to write. The works are not still standard to a great extent, but which is understandable. We should grow. However, the way some people are growing is not really promising, because some have already resorted to AI. AI is a tool that should be used as a tool, not something to replace your creativity. You understand? Yes, AI can be used in other areas, but not in writing poems or stories. That cannot be accepted. So people have to be ready to read. Let me repeat this statement. You have to be a reader to be a writer. I think I've said this everywhere I've been. Though. If you don't read, you don't know how people who have been there have done it. You will not be able to do it. So our young people still need to work on their craft. Let them build it up so that they can write standard works. Another challenge we have, like I highlighted, is publication. We have challenges with publication. We have challenges with readership. You don't also have support from the government directly and from stakeholders. And of course, from the government, we may understand because government funds are all budgeted. So if it is not catered for in the budget, they may not be able to support. But even getting support from stakeholders is sometimes difficult in private institutions. So we still have a long way to go. But I hope with the way the trend is, changes will come, inshallah.
Mr. Juara, talking about literature in the Gambia, to your own perspective, how do you see literature in the next decades in the Gambia? The culture of reading and writing.
Yeah, I think it will it will improve. Yes, though it's a very bold statement to say, but I think with TikTok around, um, it is really challenging. But with the way I see people loving authorship, everybody wants to be an author. I believe if 100 people write, at least 50 people will read. So therefore, I hope that the culture of reading and writing in the Gambia will improve. Trust me, in the past 5 years, the number of books that have been published are agreeably unprecedented in the Gambia. I don't think it have ever happened before that so many people publish books like that. Now you have people going to high school and they are publishing. So if we continue to support them, if we continue to encourage them, trust me, more works will come, and more works, at least readers will come.
Talking about the Writers Association of the Gambia, is there any upcoming projects that we should look forward to?
Right now, all attention is on conducting the International Book Festival. We want to make it so grand that no Gambian will be left behind. So right now, that's what we are especially focusing on. Yes.
Okay, about the Writers Association, sorry. What are your long-term vision?
Yes, we first of all we want to have our secretariat, a home, an address where we will be stationed, and everybody would know now we have a place for the writers. So everyone who needs anything that have to do with writing can always reach us. We also want to have a Gambia where Gambian writers will become successful. A Gambia where Gambian works would be read at homes, in school libraries, in community libraries, and inside classrooms, where Gambian works are going to be core materials and not supplementary materials in schools. You go to schools, you find that the core reading materials in literature are not Gambian works. Gambia has been part of YX for the longest time, but still, our literary works are very, very minimal there. From 2015 to now, in the worst syllabus, I've not seen any Gambian work apart from defense violent repeaters. I think there is time to change. The Gambian works should also be included, both our poems and our dramas, as well as our prose. Of course, when you go to junior school, you have Gambian poems there, but we are trying to target the high school as well. And then our works are not supposed to be just poetry, but all the different genres. So this is the long-term plan we have for the Gambia. So Gambian writers would have their foot in every matter in the Gambia. So tomorrow, when you invite the president of the country to interview him, you can ask him, which Gambian book did you last read? Which Gambian author is your favorite? Writers can be in the center stage of everything. Yeah.
All right, Mr. Juara, talking about the event because it's a very big book festival. Is there any tickets attached to it, or is a free entrance event?
Yes. As far as we have gone, it is free. Yes, and we are trying to get support from our strategic partners as well as from our own coffers to ensure we organize a program that will be all inclusive. Yes, and when I say all inclusive, it includes even the school students. We are going to target students as well because I think catching them young is important. So when they come there and be inspired, when they come with somebody like Nana Gray Johnson, you have read his Magic Calabash and now you come to see him and he talks to you about writing, that will go far in your mind and they'll be inspired to become somebody like him tomorrow. Yes. So for now, we have not discussed anything about payment, and hopefully there will be no payment. It will be free entrance for all the 3 days.
Right. Viewers, just to remind you, this is Fine TV Gambia, your only viewpoint. And Mr. Juara, what advice do you have for young aspiring Gambian writers out there?
Read,
Mm.
read, read, read before you start writing. That is my first advice, and I guess let me say my last advice as well. Read.
All right, thank you for that. Now, what message would you like to leave for the viewers out there, young writers, readers, and everyone viewing this program?
Yes, I want everyone to get prepared for the big international book festival because this time we are not targeting just Gambia, we are targeting our neighbors as well. We would like to invite the Senegalese to come and the Guineans to also come and be part of this as far as Nigeria and Sierra Leone and Ghana. We want to invite their writers and literally enthusiasts to come to the Gambia and witness what Gambia can do. And this is the same reason why we decided to target the tourist season, December, when you have lots of tourists in the Gambia. So the tourists, when they come to the Gambia, they are not just taken to Kachikali, not just taken to Gunjur or Katong Snake Farm, but they are also exposed to Gambian writers. They are exposed to the Gambian culture in the most natural way. So I want everyone to get prepared. This program is for you people. Come and be part of the Kuntakinde International Book Festival. Come and be part of the culture of writing and reading. Come and be part of our culture, our tradition, something that identifies us and makes us known outside as unique and beautiful as we are. Yes, this is the time, and I guess everyone will embrace the program.
Thank you very much, Mr. Juara. It's an honor to have you on Fine TV Gambia. And this is the Poetry Cabinet. I was your host for today, our camera with my co host Fat Jan. See you next time.